So what is the Sedona Method? Basically, it's a way of letting go of wanting something so you can reach serenity. This means you'll find whether or not something happens, and then you're more likely to have it happen. So if you think of a time, you've probably had this happen, where there's a time in your life where it was really important to you that you get something, and because it was that way, it's almost like the entire universe conspires to stop you from having it. Like if you're desperate for a job and you go into job interviews, you're going to come across less effectively than if you already have a job when you're interviewing, because they're going to sense underlying during the interview that you're trying to get something from them, that you're desperate, you're kind of putting off this desperate energy. Same way with dating. If you want to, talk to someone who you think is way out of your league, you're going to be more nervous than if you're talking to someone that you don't really care whether or not is attracted to you. It's this principle that comes into life, and Sedona Method is a way of removing the wanting so you feel at serenity. It means it's fine if it happens and it's fine if it doesn't. You can do this on any area of your life and get to that stage pretty quickly. So what you do is you basically ask yourself questions, and by asking and answering questions, you lead yourself to realize that you could let go of wanting things. So before we can describe what it is, there's a bit of theory we need to know. Sedona Method posits there are 4 different wants you have. Wanting approval, which is wanting other people to like you, wanting to look good. Wanting control, which is when you want something to be a certain way. Like, I want this person to think this of me. I want this project to get this much money coming in. I want it to rain on this day and not on this day. There's wanting security, which is like, I don't feel safe. I want to feel like my job's gonna stay stable. I want to feel like my house isn't gonna be robbed. I want to feel like I'm safe from a tsunami or a cyclone. It's wanting to feel like you're not in danger. And there's wanting to be separate, which is wanting to be special, wanting to be the most important person on the block, wanting to be the president of the United States, wanting to be like the guy winning the Oscar when you watch the Oscars. So these 4 wants, you find out which one of these you're wanting, then you ask yourself 3 questions. You ask yourself, could I let go of wanting that? You ask yourself, would I? You ask yourself, yes. And by asking these questions, what you'll realize is that you could let go of wanting them. And the second you realize that, what happens is you start to drop a lot of wanting it. And then you feel, normally when you're doing it, you'll ask yourself the questions and you start to naturally feel happier. Or you'll be looking at something that used to be important to you, and now you look back at it and you'll feel more optimistic about it. And you'll feel less importance on it going a certain way. Let's take an example. Applying for a job. Let's say you've just been fired from your job, you have $100 worth of money left, you have to get a job. If you go into interviews, you're not going to come across very well. You're going to be desperate to get that job, and they're going to feel it. It's like when you walk in, there's going to be some desperation off you, this kind of neediness. Like the interviewer will make a joke and you'll laugh a bit too hard, like you were like ha 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 ha, like that kind of thing, to try and get them to like you. It's going to come across as very forced. And you could go online and we can give you some amazing interview tips. We can say shake his hand in a firm grip, stand up straight. And it's not going to matter because you're going to be radiating this desperation to get the job, no matter what you do. Or you could do the Sedona Method, let go of the wants, and then all of a sudden you'll feel the pressure come off. Then you can go to the job, and then what will happen is most likely you will get the job if you let go of the wants. So we're going to run through the process here in the video because you get practice by kind of doing it. So I'm going to ask you the questions, and internally just think to yourself what the answer is and see what happens. So think of something in your life that's bothering you and you want to feel better about. And now we're going to pick which want it is. So again, the 4 basic wants are wanting control, wanting to make things a certain way, wanting something to happen a certain way, wanting approval, wanting people to like you, wanting people to respect you, wanting survival, which is wanting to feel safe, wanting to stop bad things from happening, or wanting to ensure that nothing bad happens. And there's wanting to be separate, which is like wanting to be special, wanting to be unique, wanting to be the only person that's seen a certain way. So whichever want is come up with now, could you let go of wanting that? Just could you? Yes or no? You don't have to, just could you? Would you let go of wanting that? Yes or no? And when would you let go of wanting that? And then notice how you feel about it now. And however you're feeling about it, what's the want that's come up now? Is it the same want? Is it a completely different one? Whatever it is, could you let go of wanting that? Again, you don't have to let go of wanting that. We're just posing a question. Is it possible for you to let go of wanting that? And would you let go of wanting that? And if you would, or if you wouldn't, when would you let go of wanting that? Now, you don't have to answer yes. Answer whatever's honest. You might say no, I wouldn't let go of wanting that. And you might say, I would let go of wanting that in 2 years, or I'll let go of wanting that only if this happens. If that's true, just say that. It doesn't matter. You don't have to say now. So whatever it is, think of the thing that you came into this video with. What's the want now? Is it approval, control, security, or wanting to be separate? And whichever one it is, could you let go of wanting that? And would you let go of wanting that if you could? When would you let go of wanting that? Whatever comes to mind is the answer. And now think of it again. It might have stayed the same. It might be feeling a bit lighter. You might be feeling like you want this thing less, or you might be feeling the same. That's okay. Whatever it is, whether it's the same want or another one, could you let go of whatever want is coming to mind? Wanting approval, wanting control, wanting security, or wanting to be separate. Could you let go of wanting it? Would you let go of wanting it if you could? And when would you let go of wanting it? And going back, whatever you're thinking of right now, could you let go of wanting it? Just could you? Would you let go of wanting it? And when would you let go of wanting it? Whichever it is that's coming to mind, the want might be the same, it might be different. Could you let go of wanting it? Yes or no? Yes, if you could. Maybe you say no. Maybe you feel like you can't let go of wanting something. Would you let go of wanting it? If you could, would you? When would you let go of wanting it? Just a thought experiment. We're asking these questions and seeing what happens. Maybe it's changed. Maybe your want is now wanting approval. If it was wanting control, maybe it's wanting security. Whichever want it is, could you let go of wanting it right now? Would you let go of wanting it? And when would you let go of wanting it? So basically you keep asking these questions and you start to feel more optimistic, because if you're genuinely like posing the question and expecting an answer, you realize that yes, you can let go of them. And just by realizing that, you'll start to drop the want. And when you drop wanting something, you're more likely to get it. Start to apply this in your life. Start to ask, what am I wanting right now? Could I let go of wanting it? And see what starts to happen.